Okay, we'll see what this does with the speakers. So I'm standing in our lettuce variety trials. This is a trial that's aimed at identifying heat-tolerant varieties, and that process is combined with looking at some management practices to see if we can mitigate heat stress using things like light-colored mulch. So a couple years ago, I started this project. We started out using light-colored mulch plus 30% black shade cloth on low tunnels. We decided that the 30% black shade cloth on low tunnels was not beneficial to growing lettuce during the summer, so we ditched that. And the last 2 years, we've just been looking at all these different varieties on white versus silver mulch. So in the handout, it's on page 6, there's a list of the varieties that we tested this year. The variety names, those cells are color-coded, so the ones that are green are the ones that have been in trial for at least 3 years and are still in trial, which means that they looked heat tolerant in past trials. The ones that are sort of orangish yellow were in the trial for the first time last year, and the ones that are purple are the ones that are trying for the first time this year. They are ordered there on that list according to the percent marketable that we had in the first trial, which was planted on June 17th, and we are harvesting that at the beginning of July. The first couple weeks of July, we harvested twice. We harvest half the plot 1 week and half the plot the next week. We measure the size and rate whether it's bolting or not, and then I taste all the lettuce to see if it's edible. The varieties that had the highest percentage of marketable lettuce are at the top of that list. And in the current trial, they're the ones that have the pink flag stuck next to their stake. One thing that we noted this year that we haven't seen in past years is that we're seeing a difference between performance on the silver versus the white plastic mulch. In past years, we have seen similar performance on those two colors. I'm not quite sure what's going on this year that we're seeing a difference between those two, but especially in the first trial that we did, there was much better plant growth on the silver mulch, which does have more of a cooling effect. So it could be that we just had much warmer conditions in June and early July than we have the past couple years. Next up is our cucumber variety trial. I don't have anything on the handout about the cucumber trial. We're still picking it. We should have picked it today, but we were too busy getting ready for you all. When you get up to the pavilion on the last stop, you will see all 19 varieties laid out for you if you want to take a look and see what they look like. And all the yield data will be available this winter after we finally get it all taken and, crunch the numbers. The next thing that we have here is a trial looking at using shade cloth to prevent sunburn, promote plant growth and survival, and increase fruit size in bell peppers. So this is a repeated trial that I've done for a couple of years. We see positive benefits of using shade cloth. In this trial, we're looking at the timing of when you put the shade cloth on. So there's a treatment that never got shade cloth, which is this plot right here. In the first replication, and you can see those plants are a lot smaller. They're also not making as many peppers as the other treatments that did have shade cloth at some point. So there's also treatment that had shade cloth on in June only, July only, and a June and July treatment. And then the one that still has shade cloth is the June, July, and half of August treatment. So right now, what has been performing best in our first 2 harvests are the ones that got shade cloth in June or in July, but not June and July. And the eternal shade cloth treatment isn't doing as well as the just 1 month. But early because we just started harvesting 2 weeks ago. There's a thing in your handout that if you care about processing sweet corn, which maybe nobody here does, but I'm doing 2 processing sweet corn trials this year because the processors are concerned that the variety that they have been using for a very long time is not going to be available soon. So that's Overland. In the handout, you can see it ends up in the middle of the pack in our first trial, which we have completed harvest on. We're still harvesting the second trial. So if you want to talk about processing sweet corn, I'd be happy to do that, but I don't have any, we're not standing in front of it, so I'm not going to keep talking about it. And then on the very back of your packet is some results from our broccoli trial that we did this spring. It was planted kind of late. We were trying to get some heat stress on it. So April 11th was the transplant date, and I wrote on there we harvested it when it was blazing hot at the beginning of June. And you can see that there's pretty low percent marketable numbers for most of these, but you can really tell which ones, you know, might survive a lot of heat stress. The ones that are highlighted in blue are ones that are already in our variety recommendations. So part of the goal here was to try to see if there was anything new that I should be adding to our variety recommendations. This trial didn't really bring out any new great material as far as spring broccoli that might get heat stress on it. I will mention that down there is our watermelon variety trial. There are 10 varieties in the trial this year. When you go up to the pavilion on the last stop, you'll be able to see fruit from each of the varieties that are in the trial. We've harvested it 1.5 times, which means that we got through half of it yesterday and then had to take a break. So, and we also wanted you to get a chance to see the new piece of equipment that we acquired for those of us who are doing watermelon research on this farm, which is not just me, so that we can get the melons out of the field a little more easily. We used it for the first time yesterday, and it made things a lot easier. And now I am going to hand the microphone over to Aurelie. Where is she? Okay, and you should walk down towards that table, data collection for, and then wrote up the summary for you.
Hi everyone, it's nice to meet you all. So basically this summer I did a trial for variety recommendations on poblano peppers. We planted 9 varieties in this trial with 4 replications. So the varieties are in front of you, some of our nicest peppers that were harvested on Tuesday. And basically within the trial we found out that 2 of the peppers, which is number 4 and number 2, I believe, Baston and Sequoia, had the highest yields in the first harvest. But number 10, unfortunately, which is the Ancho Poblano, has not been doing very good. It's, if you kind of look over, I don't think you can see it, but it's a branching type. So it kind of falls over where we've been trying to string it, so it hasn't been doing very well in all the reps. But I'm guessing it's kind of like a late bloomer because we've only had a couple harvests these past few weeks. Yes, it's that one that this I was pointing towards. So it's basically shown little to no yield, along with the San Ardo. But as the weeks have gone by, Bastan, unfortunately, had decreases in yield, and then increases from Marquise and Sequoia continued. So what we found was that Marquise was the best overall in total yield, marketable yield, and then percent marketable. It also turns out that it's the cheapest seed, so that's a bang for your buck. But yeah, and then I guess like you see the chart, it's kind of like a color scale on all the categories we looked at, and you kind of see like them listed off from like which one has been doing better, and then Antropolone at the bottom, which has been struggling a little bit. But you kind of see that Barren and Trident, and then along with the Antropolone, they've been not showing good results, but they do have a high percent marketable for Barren and Trident, but it still isn't up to yield or scores as the top two or top three, which are Marquise and Sequoia and Boston. So yeah, I mean that's what I found so far, and I want to thank Dr. Ernest for the opportunity. After working here for 3 summers, it's been nice. So hopefully I might come back next summer. Who knows? But we'll see. But yeah, thank you.